fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
The constitutional point of view was critical for Jefferson's support of the Bill of Rights.
As we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens, I can hear you!
Is time running out?
It's Saturday. Mother's Day weekend. Wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. It's the Hayden Collins radio program, The Intelligence Syndicate. I'm your host, Hayden Collins, and finally, we're out of a drought. Houston got 11 inches of rain in one day. They're swimming. But looks like rain's not going to be an issue this summer. Hurricane forecast is out. Looks like that's pretty light. I'm not sure what to talk about the weather here. All important subject for those that are really concerned about weather change. That's the new word, weather change. The weather changes. And kind of leave that as it is. Okay, on the military front, let's play Catch-22, which is kind of the remake of Somebody Who Doesn't Have Any Imagination. But let's look at Israel being attacked last week. Rockets dropping out of the sky all over the place, and things getting out of control at a very, very alarming rate in regards to all the wonderful things that shouldn't happen. So let's say, for the sake of discussion, that the attacks on Israel and the intelligence on the attacks on Israel directed U.S. forces and U.S. intelligence to a specific source. Then let's go a couple days later, and all of a sudden a bunch of B-52 bombers, a scattering, if you will, a scattering of B-52 bombers, happen to find themselves available, transportable, and now located, I don't know, near the region where all this haberdashery is going on. Then all of a sudden, a carrier group gets redirected. And then some special ships that are specially designed for anti-missile batteries, they get redirected. And this is all in the public's eye. This is all being publicized. This is not top secret stuff. This is out there. And then all of a sudden, you know, there are fewer Marines around. Is there some parties going on I'm not aware of? Is there, you know, a great big dining in that we should go to? Marine Corps balls going on? I don't know. But all of the indications here says that, and this is my speculation only, that if Israel is to retaliate, and they do retaliate, there's going to be a buttload of American forces laying around to act as a deterrent in case somebody wants to step up and get involved. Now, that's diplomacy. That's serious diplomacy. And you sit back and look at it and you think, oh my gosh, what are these guys going to do next? Well, it is the weekend. It is Mother's Day weekend. I think we're safe for the weekend. However, you really have to sit back and think this is a major movement. You don't pick up bomber squadrons and fighter squadrons and just scatter them around the globe for no particular reason. If this is a show of force and saber rattling, that's an awfully large saber, and it is rattling rather well, and everybody's paying attention. But I don't know if conditions are right or not, if this is going to walk in and happen and release and then get out real quick. I mean, you have a lot of the Iranian people, I mean, very westernized. I mean, most of the ones I know, very nice people. Imagine the riots they're having over there. And I say riots, protests, riots, whatever you want to call it, every other week. And, inflation's out of control like they were talking about, but it's not hitting the news anywhere. Of course it's not hitting the news. Actually, you have to pull it off Reddit to get information where they're publicizing it from Iran. You're getting it from in the country. Just look at the conditions. But see, this kind of takes the heat off of Venezuela all of a sudden. This takes the serious heat off of Venezuela. So let's put our conspiracy theory hat on again. Russia sends advisors to Venezuela and the United States does not care. But now all of a sudden the United States is sending stuff over towards Iran. I wonder if the 100 advisors are going to be pulled back from Venezuela now in this chess game as the individuals that are being, tasked to the theater near Iran, in Iraq, and Afghanistan. Because the old joke we used to say when we were over there is, man, Iran is in a really serious problem. They're between Iraq and Afghanistan, instead of Iraq in a hard place. Okay, bad humor. Nonetheless, that's the situation they're in. So there's a possibility for things to happen there internally with U.S. support, or there's the things that can happen externally to start internal support. And Venezuela, the silence there may find itself in a different condition after Iran, regardless of what happens in Iran, if it's a show of force or not. And whatever happens in Venezuela is going to set the stage for North Korea. Now, I tell you what, now this is kind of spooky, but it's also kind of neat. We do a lot of things around the world, and being parts of contract groups, you often do contracts overseas and so on and so forth. One of the neatest things that I've heard of is there's rumors in the contract industry, and these are serious rumors, that there's going to be a serious amount of contracts in North Korea for disarmament and getting rid of chemical weapons and getting rid of nuclear weapons. And they're going to use U.S. contractors and European contractors to do the work and train the North Koreans on how to do it as part of the trade-off. Those are all of a sudden serious rumors. That's creating some excitement. So there's some serious movement here. Lots of serious movement. But it's something to pay attention to for the next 5 to 10 days. I'll let you know that. That is it's a scenario that can play out many different ways, and we have limited information, and we can only speculate in each different direction. And I would lay caution to everyone, don't speculate the worst, don't assume the worst. Okay? Let things play out as they should, and let the officers and individuals that are hired to do these kind of things do their professional jobs, do what they're supposed to do, and allow them the latitude to do such things. And stay away from superfluous information. You just don't need it. Do not overreact to anything you see on Facebook or anywhere else. And keep in mind, Facebook is censored just like Twitter is censored. Because it's private. It's a private industry, so they can censor it. Keep that in mind. And I don't think it's working out the way they wanted it to, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Okay, let's move on to some other fun stuff. It is Mother's Day weekend. We do want to do some fun stuff here. Okay, the opportunity to go to these spring festivals, and I gotta share this with you guys. It's absolutely hilarious. So we take a bunch of the grandkids. We go to the spring festival, and you have field day at school you have to go to. We had graduations we had to go to. I got another 14 days. I got another graduation. Kids graduating from college, kids graduating from high school. It's all over the place, right? And so I'm looking at all of the gifts we buy for these graduations for all of our kids, right? And I'm looking at the industry bump that should happen. I mean, these guys are in a condition that somebody in the retail industry was to sell specifically for graduations and set up a graduation campaign for this month. Hey, it's Mother's Day, and then right after Mother's Day, hey, it's graduation time. Boom, diddy, boom, 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 and then hey, Memorial Day. There's like a 2-week gap in there where you can do graduation gifts, and it just takes the right marketeer to do it. So we're hitting this spring festival, and if you guys ever get the chance to visit Ellijay, Georgia, or Blue Ridge, Georgia, or Helen, Georgia, or Dahlonega, Georgia. I highly recommend it. I love those places. I'm a mountain kind of guy. So Sandra and I went and did a tour. We're doing a tour, and this time we ended up in LJ. And it is raining cats and dogs, just like it was in Houston a couple of days ago. I think the storm was sitting on top of us. And we're sitting in this wonderful antique store, and there's a restaurant in the back, and we meet some of the greatest people. And we're sitting back there talking and looking at the rain and everything else, and everybody's, we're not in a rush, no big deal. You know, the shop owner comes out and gives everybody a sweet tea. He's looking out the window as well. I wish there were more customers, but, rain's a good thing. And we're looking at this whole thing, and then finally there's a break. And there's a break for a few minutes. So everybody leaves the store, and we make it to the other store, and it's like it's store swap. 20 people come out of the store, we go to the next store, and then 20 people left the store next to us, and they got into the restaurant, and then it opened up raining again. And then everybody's in that store for another 20 or 30 minutes until that cloud passes, and then we go to the next store. So it's store hopping between clouds, which was really, really neat. But there are some very creative, artful things that you can see that people have. I tell you what, this is how I would best describe it. For anyone who has ever worked in construction, you have these old buildings that they want to tear down, these old buildings that they say, okay, we're going to tear down. So you go in and you salvage the interior doors because they're original wooden doors that are solid core wooden doors. Everybody loves them. You want to salvage the windows because they're the original windows that you can refinish and make good again. Or you want to salvage them. I mean, you guys turn on not the Home Shopping Network, well, whatever, the Rebuild at the House Network, whatever that's called, and you'll see those guys do it as well. Well, picture somebody taking that stuff and making art out of it. So, for example, they salvaged an interior door, and they finished it, made it look really good, almost like it was original. And then across the bottom of it, they put something really neat, like door was originally constructed in 1907, and now it's yours. Blah blah blah, and you buy it and you get the certificate to go with it or something. And it's what they call a certified antique, which is kind of pretty cool. I like that, but I don't have a place in my house for an extra door. It would have to be somebody who would want to do things like that. So they had salvaged construction material, but somebody did a really neat thing. They salvaged a window, and they made it into a great big coffee table, like a glass case coffee table. So you have two exterior windows that are either screwed together, glued together, or whatever, and it creates a glass capsule on two sides. It's two sliding windows, and you can slide one side back and put stuff in the center of the of your coffee table and slide it back closed, and then you're using the coffee table. It's kind of a unique concept with windows. So that was pretty neat. But the gist of it is, if you guys ever get the chance to go up there, there's some very creative people that have done some very creative things. And if you have the opportunity, inclination, and you want to, buy something for your house, here's their free advertisement. We had a great time. It was storming, and we had a great time. Homemade ice cream, apple capital of Georgia up there. It's just wonderful. But it is spring, so everybody's getting out and doing things, cutting the yards, going to festivals, graduating. Now, so we're driving up and down the road. Now, the reason I brought this up is because we're tooling up and down several highways. And of course, we're of a political nature. We start looking around. We see these signs. This is where it gets kind of goofy. You see a sign that says, what is it? The economy's doing great. What are you doing? It's like, whoa, wow, man, it's really putting it to these guys. So we're driving down the road a little bit more, and it says, unemployment is the lowest it's been in 40 years. And this is a 12 by 12 sign. This is not a great big billboard. And that unemployment sign, and it says, what are you doing? And it's like, wow, man, these guys are harsh. And then you go down a few more signs, and what it reminds me of is the old Burma shave signs that they used to have out on the road. They would start off with, hey, you want to shave, you want a clean shave, you want a clean, fresh shave, then use Burma shave. And the signs would be lined up down the road. It would be a whole commercial over, a mile or so. So at the end of these signs, it's very creative. It was an employment agency. We're going to help you find a job. We're Bob's Employment. I'm not going to advertise for the employment agency, but we're Bob's Employment Agency, and we have jobs. We need you, And it sends a message everywhere. Private industry is starving for workers. Private industry is starving for professionals. Thank God we got a graduating class right now. I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up. I mean, I'm just looking at these signs up there, and I'm traveling a lot. I'll be in California next week, back to Berkeley University, and I'm looking around there, and the unemployment's low there too. The economy is taking off and rocketing, and now it's snowballing. Now it is snowballing, and what I'm saying about snowballing is this economy is snowballing to the point to where even industry is advertising and promoting the economy even though they don't mean to. They're just trying to get workers. Benefits are becoming better because they have to attract work. There's a lot of piracy going on. There is a tremendous amount of piracy going on, and if you don't know what a headhunter is, you're going to get to know one soon. Because headhunters go around and find people for companies. They just find them. Here you go. Here's the person we need to find. And they'll steal them from another company for more benefits, more money, whatever the case may be. Headhunters are having a field day right now because they can't get qualified people that are available out in the market. What they're doing is they're going to individuals who are working for companies and offering them better deals, which is causing a rise in the market. Almost an out-of-control rise in the market. I'm looking at salaries jump. Two of the guys that I know that work for other companies, and all the vast people that we work with, told me about the headhunters that had called them, and one of them even went to an interview, and I think he's going to actually take the job. But the deal is he's getting $30,000 more a year plus benefits to switch jobs because the economy is so well. Now, the downside of that is, boy, you hope the economy keeps going so you can enjoy that additional $30,000 a year. There is the caveat there, but this is where the risk-averse people may or may not have a problem. If you're willing to take the risk and make the money, well, then you can take the risk and make the money. If you're not willing to take the risk, you're never going to make the money. If you're not willing to take the chance, you're never going to get there. So a lot of these guys and these headhunters and these pirates, if you want to call them that, are running around stealing people from other companies. They get paid a per diem or a bonus for getting the people from the other company, but the company gets to fill their ranks. But you have to imagine there's a little piracy going on everywhere. So even as this company's hiring pirates to steal people from his company or from another company, somebody's hiring pirates to steal people from his company. It's a backstabbing market for guys that are trying to keep businesses going and trying to keep things afloat, and it's getting worse. So I think we're going to see employer wars here pretty soon. Like, if you sign up to work with us, you have to work with us for no less than 3 years. You can't work with us and leave and go off somewhere else. There's going to be employment arrangements, which is going to create job security for people. On one hand, if they screw up really bad, they're going to get fired, but chances are if they don't screw up, they at least have guaranteed work for 3 years. Now, I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but imagine this. You don't have any guaranteed work at all now. You could walk into the office and be fired tomorrow. So the employment market's taken a strange twist. The piracy, the headhunters, the bonuses, and now the inkling of, well, you got a minimum requirement to work for us for X amount of years in order to, receive a bonus. They're going to put a carrot out there to make sure you stay for the 3 years. And you know what's coming back into play that hasn't been in play for a long time? Stock options. Employee stock options given to new employees as they come through the door instead of money for salary. And that's being used. That's a new play in the field that hasn't been used in maybe 15, 16 years. It used to be a common practice. Now that's coming back into play. Now, besides the market going up and down and people making lots of money on the market going up and down, I swear to you, if you know the president's going to come out and give a speech, you buy stock because the money's going to go up. And then the next day you can sell it because it's going to go back down. Or he's going to come out and give another speech and you know it's about something bad. You could sell off a bunch of stock, wait for it to go down, and buy your stock back later that day at a lower price and make money on it as it comes back up. It's almost like a message game that you're giving to everybody who's dealing in stocks. The president's going to speak. What's he going to talk about? North Korea. Is it good or bad? Well, it looks like it's going to be bad. Quick, sell your stock. Okay, good. Oh, it was bad. Now the stock market went down. All right, next day, stock market opens. Oh, looks like it's going back up. All right, that's good. Buy your stock, buy it, let it go up, and you sell it. It's a game, and it's a fun game. I've been playing it for a while and having lots of fun with it. I don't know if you would call my game, part of the game, successful or not, but it is. It is. profitable. How about that? We'll say that. But I'll advise you, don't dabble in this if you don't know what you're doing. You could very quickly lose your shirt, beyond a doubt. All right, when we come back, we got the twins checking in. Oops, I arted. And then shortly thereafter that, we're going to rotate through. We're going to be doing a live show in California next week. So get ready for that. You know what? I don't know if that one's going to get posted on YouTube or not. We'll think about that. We usually don't post our live shows. All right, we'll see you guys when we get back from the break. Remember, it's the Hayden Collins radio program, The Intelligence Syndicate.